Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my studio. It is Thursday night, and we are going to paint a little girl. I don't know if you can see. Oh, I've got a glare. This is a little girl with an Easter basket. I know it's kind of hard for you to see a little bit. I've got it under plastic. I don't want to get paint all over it. This is a little picture of my mom when she was about 4 years old. I'm not going to paint my grandfather in the that she's following behind, but we'll just be doing a nice, long, beautiful rendering in a simple way. And so I hope that you guys are having a great week. It's Easter week, so we're doing an Easter basket. Yes. So on top of that, I just while we're waiting for people to come on, if you have got your chat set up, do let me know, and we will. I'm going to just shift this just a little tiny bit. Let's go that direction. Yeah, just so we can get that right in the middle. And what I'm going to do is we will be talking a little bit about Easter and painting this wonderful little scene in a simple way. On top of that, just before we get going, I wanted to remind any of you Macaulians that we have all kinds of Easter things happening in town. The first thing is happening tomorrow. I'm going to be running the gallery on Good Friday during the day, and then I'm going to be singing in the Good Friday service at the McCall Community Church, previously known as the McCall Congregational Church. That's the one with the big white steeple, and it's where a lot of events happen in our little community. And so that's going to be at 7 o'clock in the evening is when the service starts. And then on top of that, we'll have a little time of soup and buns on Friday evening, starting at about 5:30 p.m. So that's just what's happening in my little town. And then, of course, all your Easter services too. So, including Easter egg hunts. So we'll see if we can show you what that looks. Welcome, everybody. So I'm going to just check my chat thing to see if I've got, there we go. All right. So we've got Trinity, North Carolina checking in. Hello, everyone. Okay, so I'm going to do this really loosely to start with, and you can tell it was a real small picture. I don't know how they printed those up. They were just about an inch and 2 inches wide, and then you have to kind of blow them up, and they get a little pixelated. The good news on that is that you don't have to worry about painting it too detailed, you know. So if you can't see it, don't paint it, well, unless you want to make something up. All right, so I have a 20 by 30 canvas. It's the same size as the one over here with the crazy tulips that I'm working on. And I have just a variety of colors on my palette. I've got a little bit of titanium white. Now I've got it on my picture. And I've got some Indian yellow, a little bit of a burnt sienna or terra rosa. I can't remember what that is. And some magenta color. And I have, let's see, some dark dioxazine purple for some shadows and some phthalo turquoise. That's the really dark one. Because I can't find my phthalo teal. It's rolling around here somewhere. Woo, jeez. Anyway, okay. On top of that, I have a little bit of thinner in a jar. And I'm not going to start out by using, any Neo-Megilp or Liquin or anything like that. I'm going to use thinner. You start out with thinner, and then you work up. Thin, thinner, thin to thick, all right? So you start with your thinner paint, not with thinned out with linseed oil. You want to add the fat to it, that's linseed oil or whatever, later on your next layer as you kind of build up. So anyway, that's what I'm doing. And so I'm going to start out by dipping my brush into the thinner. And I've got, what kind of brush is this? This is a Royal brush. I love these. I don't know where my dad got these. They're a soft grip, and this is a number 6, and I've been using it until I've about worn it right down. So now I'm going to come into just our kind of a burnt sienna, which is a brick color, brick color. Okay, making sure you can see that. And I think I'm going to put my little dolly, I'm going to put her head right about, I don't want her too tall because she's a little tiny person. So I think I'm going to just give it a guess right about in here. And this one's going to have a little bit of extra room around the outside. So I'm figuring out where things are. Can you see that mark? Yes. Now I'm not going to jump around. Last week I jumped around so much that the thing was going in and out with the focus. So I'm going to try not to do that so much. I'm going to hide this picture here, and I'm going to say the head, we're going to come down to right about here. So she's going to be pretty big, maybe life size, I don't know. So it's kind of cute. So I've got the back of the head. This is only the back of the head. We're not going to be doing anything crazy like the whole face. Save that for another day. Yeah, so that's kind of the size of her head. And then I'm going to put her little shoulders coming out like that. And put a little shoulders coming out like this. I know I did a backwards little painting one time of my mom when she was 2. I did that once. I seem to like the ones from behind. Well, they're just a lot easier. Hey, I sold a painting in the gallery this week. That was really fun. So I'll say hi to my new friend that I met down there this week. Who was that? Valentine. Nice lady. Anyway, so I sold a painting this week, and one of the big ones, one of the great big ones. So that was nice. Get one of the big peonies that I paint into somebody's beautiful home. So I'm just kind of now figuring out how far down to go. And here we go. We're going to have just a little coat. And of course I can keep adjusting. I'm going to have her little hand right about there. It looks like that basket is swinging out kind of like that. So let's make sure that we've got this in the right spot. You don't want to have to wipe it all off again. This painting, the underpainting on this was something that I had painted and I didn't like, and so I wiped it off. And so you just get this wonderful buildup of paint. And it works, you know, it works because you get just a little, you can wipe it off, and then you have just a little bit of a thin tone. And so that makes it a lot easier. Get your little tone. We'll put this basket like this. She had a little basket like that. Maybe I should make the basket a little shallower and we can put some Easter eggs in it as well. But we'll start with that. And then I'm going to see if I can figure out, okay, it goes down like this. This is a little pea coat. And this, maybe I'll drop that down just a bit. And then we'll put in indication of the legs going that way, their little knee, just like that, and down like this. You're not going to believe this, you guys. It is snowing really hard right now. Happy Easter, you know. We didn't get hardly any snow this winter at all, and now it's snowing. Isn't that great? Oh, well. They closed up. Well, I don't know if they still got the ski things open, but I know they're not going to stay open too long because it's just we just didn't get enough snow. There wasn't any enough snow to make snow sculptures and all kinds of things. So it was a little bit, you know, a little scary. And now it's snowing. Oh well. Okay, hand, basket, moving it around a little bit. I'm painting it nice and thin so that I don't have to worry about it. I'm looking back and forth at my picture so that this is part of the deal. You're going back and forth. Hi, Nick. Nice to see you tonight. Oh my gosh, got a few people coming in. So now I've got what I'm doing, and this is what I taught last night in my class, is when you're painting, when you're getting the contour in, or the outline or the shape. You know, there's only 3 things you can get wrong in a painting: the shape, and the tone, and the color. So we're starting out with the shape. And so you're looking at what you're painting from, and you're looking back here, and you're glancing back and forth, just like you're driving. I'm going to set this focus off again. So if you were driving down the road and you were staring at your steering wheel, you're going to go off the road. All right, just saying. So that means you got to keep going back and forth from your image to here, back and forth, back and forth. Otherwise, you go off the road. So I hope that makes sense. So you can see my head bops back and forth. It looks like a bobblehead sometimes. And then I've got like this right there. And so we've got the little legs. And then I'm always asking myself, what am I really seeing? You know, what shape am I really seeing? I'm not going to just draw legs in there like, you know, oh, I know what a leg looks like. Don't say, I know what a looks like. No. Make sure you're looking at your picture or your reference or your model as though you've never seen that model or seen that thing before, like you've never seen a person before. And then you're just looking at it and thinking, what shape is that? Because it's kind of going back into space a little bit, or it's coming forward at you. I've got to have to think that through a little bit. So like that, and like that. And so we're coming in, we've got one leg that's kind of behind the other. I'll see if I can get this. And then you're asking yourself, what angle is that really? Okay, kind of comes that way as the leg goes out kind of behind. I can barely see it because of the graininess of the picture, but has that ever stopped me before? No, not really. Not really. This is this little chubby leg. And I can see that this leg appears to be a little bit wide because I keep adjusting it. So now I'm coming back in with my rag and I'm just adjusting it like that. That works. And so I come down like this, and then I think, okay, well, there's an ankle down here, a little shape down here, and the feet. The little shoe is somewhere down there. I'm not exactly sure. And then this thing, we've got a little white sock, and then we have a white sock. I've got to get a little more paint on my brush here. I'm dipping into a nothing puddle. And then we've got a shoe that's kind of going like this. So it looks like, yeah, that's it. And I will adjust this and adjust it to make sure that it makes sense in the long run. There's that leg. And then this is a shadow area right underneath there, right? You know, they got these little short outfits on like Shirley Temple. And so that's kind of in a shadow. And then we have a shadow right up here. I'm going to add just a little bit of dark purple to my color, to that brown color. And now I'm going to come in, I'm going to say, okay, there's a little, there's this. And so I'm redrawing that a bit. And I see that. I'm going to drop that Easter basket way, way down here, almost to the ground. It was almost bigger than she was. So we'll just put that like that. And then we'll maybe a little over. I'm feeling like I wish I had moved her over a little bit, but that's okay. For tonight, we'll just kind of do this. That's great. Okay. Now, a little bit more purple with a little bit of the burnt sienna. And this is a dark outfit. The last outfit she had on was a white, almost summery dress. That Easter must have been better as far as just the weather. I'm going to drop that shoulder a little bit. I might drop this just a bit. Now I'm going to come in with a little thinner like this. And then I'm going to come in and put in a bit of a shadow. That helps me to figure out if I'm on. Like that. Good. And I do feel like I want to drop that head. I might drop it. We'll see. We'll see. If you can't adjust, don't paint, you know. Painting, of course, as Sargent used to say, is a record of a series of corrections. Now this is a puffy sleeve up here, I'm just realizing. So I'm going to give it a little bit of a puff like that, like this. And then this is going to be dark underneath. As it turns in, I'm going to give it this nice dark purpley brown there. and that hand comes out there. Now I'm finding where the hand goes, and that basket has to come out of that hand. There we go, like that. It's got a really long handle, very long handle. And I'm still moving it around. I don't want it to bump into the outfit. There is a little bit of space, so maybe I'll move that. Maybe I'll fix the outfit a little bit. I'll move the outfit, the coat in so that it doesn't bump into the handle, because I don't want that to be a problem. Okay. Now, there's that. Okay, there we go. Then we're going to get into here. I'm going to just scumble a little bit more shadow in there. And I'm going to use that same dark purple for a bit of shadow underneath the coat like that. That's coming out. Now I'm going to add a little bit of Indian yellow and white. And this will bring up the light a little bit right here. Yeah. It looks like a brown jacket now, but I can let this dry and then scumble, or not scumble, but glaze any color over it a little bit. So I'm kind of going to do this in a little bit of a monochrome to start with, like that. A little bit of thinner so that it works. Now you can see how that is coming out a little bit, coming up and out towards you, like that. A little bit more thinner. This paint seems really dry. Sometimes it's not the paint, but it's the canvas that just sucks up all of your stuff. And so I got that. I've got this is in a nice little color right there. Nice tonal value. So now I'm thinking about tonal values. Now I'm going to add a little bit of magenta to turn this into a bit of a pink coat. There. Yeah. How's everybody doing tonight? Okay. Oh, yeah. Let's see. So let me know if you've got any questions. I know there's not much to ask questions about yet, but I've got this here like that, and I can adjust it. Here's my little magenta color. It's a little purple coat now. Magenta, magenta, magenta. I love that color. You can do it in black. You could do it in brown. You could do it in purple or green or whatever you want to do. That's fine. And you can see it looks really big out there. Well, I'm going to take my rag here in a second, and we'll taper it off a little bit. Here's a little bit of the lighter pink right there. Lighter pink. Like that. I'm going to go as fast as I can. And then this shoulder is got a light there. So you're looking for the darks, the middle tones, and the lights in that order. You start with the darks and then you work your way up. Dark, middle tone, light. Especially when you've got something that's a bit drapey. You can see this is like dark, middle tone, light there. And then this is just a little bit too dark, so I'm going to push that up in there. There. Now, it's starting to look like a jacket. This has got a little bit more light there. So once I figure out that I have this feels too big, I'm going to take my rag and I'm going to dip it into a little bit of thinner. This is just a little paper towel. And now I can come in and shape that outside and say, okay, I'm going to make that a little bit smaller. And I can shape it in the negative space, which is the shape around the object, like that. And just, make it to where it can accept more paint in the long run. So there. Okay, now the next thing I want to do is get a little bit of this. Let's see if I can get this to work. I have some Naples yellow. And I've got some little bit of purple on my brush as well, but I'm adding Naples yellow to it, and I'm going to come down here and I'm going to give this So it's got Naples yellow and a little bit of that purple. And so now I'm putting in where I see the little legs. So cute. Nice and loose, nice and loose. This yellow is kind of a weird one. It's been around for a while, I think. So I just, sometimes you have to cut the tube open and then just mix some medium with it. There's a little bit of light right there that makes that calf muscle stand out. See how nice and loose this is? It's just super loose. I'm going to come back in and work this area right here just a little bit. Oops, let's see, go into there. This is really nice and light there. That's going to be so cute. I love this time of year because everything is starting to shift. Of course, we won't see any flowers here. We see a lot of critters, you know, we see a lot of deer, and the birds start coming back, which is kind of nice. But for the most part, you don't see flowers until about maybe June. I don't know. It's not, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen early. Our planting season is extremely short, about 3 months. That's it. And that's all you get. Okay, there we go. Now that's that. And then I'll have something in a dark value for down here in the feet department here. Now back into a little bit of that Naples yellow on my brush. I'm not washing my brush. I'm just kind of adding it to it like that. And then we have some white. There's a little bit of white that is going to go in right there for the little sock. And then there's one that goes down here. So that shoe goes, it's a flat shoe that kind of comes like that. Yeah, that looks nice. All right. So I've got this up here. No, I've got, I'm going to go into some deep dark purple. And I'm going to add that to my brush, a little dark purple, and maybe just some slight orange. Maybe a little more purple. I'm just mixing up a shadow color. Why? Well, this right here, I can't really see light. So I've got this dark purple again. It's kind of like the same stuff that I've got here. And then I'm going to come into the hair like that. And I'm going to give myself something to launch that yellow hair off of. If I just paint yellow hair, it might not really register very well. So I'm giving it a little bit of this kind of a purpley orange. It's dioxazine purple with a little bit of orange. What is that orange? It is cadmium orange. Okay, so, and then I'm painting it nice and thin because I want to be able to see, the yellow hair that I'm going to pop on there in a couple of seconds. So I got that on my brush, so I'm working that around. Okay, good. So see, I've got this kind of purple. It's so weird, isn't it? It's a purple-headed baby. Like that. And I see that the hair is going to come over the shoulder, so I want to make sure I have something to launch off of that. Good, like that. I am going to cool this shadow down as well with a little bit of teal. So now I'm going to come back in underneath and give it some even darker shadow by adding a little bit of turquoise. And then we'll make this shadow under here with that turquoise, with that purple there. You can see how that's beginning to take shape. And then over here, comes down like that. So the coat kind of hangs down a little bit in the front. And then up in here, it's like that. Okay, and we'll split the little legs like that a bit. And make it nice and dark. So I'm cooling it off a little, like that. And then I'm also going to take that turquoise and purple, and we're going to put that across the bottom of the shoe. There's that shoe going that way. And let's see if we can figure this out. Okay. Yeah, all right. So if you were with me last week, we did the beginning of that great big huge tulip painting, and now my students are doing it. So it's nice. It's the first time I've really ever shared that information with people on how to paint the big flowers, and they seem to really be enjoying that. Okay, so now the next thing I want to do is think about the hair. Actually, I should be painting the entire background first, but I think I will just go into this hair. My mom had really, really blonde hair. I mean, can you see how white that hair is? Oh my gosh. They called her Swede. The rest of the family had red hair or brown hair or whatever, but she was Swede. And so, or towhead, you know. So I'm going to take a little bit of the yellow, Naples yellow, and I'm going to put that into the white. And hopefully this will register as some hair. Really light yellow hair like this. I'm still using the same brush. I'm going to wipe it off though because it's still got a lot of purple in it. So I'm going to wipe that off and I'm going to go back into that yellow color. And then we'll put on some more white. That looks kind of cute. And it's still a little bit pink. That's okay. There. Should have probably gone into more of a lavender purple. That's one way. But see how I'm putting the hair on and not covering up all of what I laid down so that it stands out nicely. Beautiful. Whoops, that's a little bit thick in the pink area there. Now it'll look like their pink head underneath her hair. Now if I want, I can go back in with a tiny bit of teal. Maybe. Because teal is kind of the opposite of red, pink. And see that? I put some teal and white in there, and it will now counteract that reddishness. And that worked out great. So I've got a little teal with some white. Let's put some down here. And it just glows. Using complementary colors to correct something. Okay, so opposite to green is red. And so opposite to red is green. And opposite to purple is yellow. And then opposite to blue is orange. So if it looks too orange, I add a little bit of blue. If it's too red, I will add some green or some teal. If it's too yellow, I'll add purple, etc. So I can mute things down a little bit. That's looking cute. I like it. How's it looking out there? Nice and loose. Not too loose. At least you can sort of tell what it looks like. Does that look okay? I hope so. Yeah. Okay. So if you're watching, don't forget to let me know where you're from. Yeah. Pop your name on there if you want, and let me know where you're from. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them for you if I can. There's that. Now, okay, now I'm going to come over here to this basket, and I have I've got this yellow. What is this? This is Indian yellow, and we'll plunk that down here like this. Here's our little basket. Indian yellow. I haven't washed my brush out like that, but there we go. Put that like that. That's nice. And it kind of comes like that, like this. A lot of white, so it's similar to this hair. I'm just going to put some of that up there. Make it harmonious, yeah. And then I'll come back in with our yellow with a little bit of that kind of, what is that? Oh, our brown, our initial brown. And I think what I want to do is give this a little rim like this. This is just nice and loose. And then I'll come over here and do the back side of the basket like that. And we'll just weave it a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, this is not photorealism. Good Lord, no, there is not. I do some photorealistic things, but in my old age, I'm getting to the point where I rather not, because I just kind of enjoy it when it's a little bit looser. Okay, so our little hand is going to come out like that, and then this basket thing is going to come down like this. Ooh, happy Easter. That's lovely. I'm going to be bringing some paintings to the community church. One is going to be a recreation, or I painted a study of the Velasquez Crucifixion of Christ. Not Easter baskets. No. And it's going to be for Good Friday. And then I have an Easter photo, an Easter painting of the inside of the tomb on the day of resurrection. And so it's going to be interesting to bring that into perspective. Now, I think what I want to do is I want to put in a little bit of shadow here. Maybe down here I'm going to put a little shadow. I'm hearing talking back there, my husband and my son. And I'm going to add a little bit of shadow underneath her feet, maybe around, just kind of plunk some purple shadow in here like that. Like that. A little bit inside the basket. I'll throw that shadow in there like that. I also want to make one side of the basket darker than the other. So we're going to take that dark purple and make that basket dark on one side, dark middle tone light, maybe even more dark, and darken the inside here like that. It's just that easy. Now, the bottom of the basket should not be flat because it's round. It's like an ellipse, and it's kind of swinging back like this, so that'll work like that. Okay, now some sort of skin tone. Let's do some of that Terra Rosa with a little bit of white, lots of white. Maybe a little orange too. And I've got this hand coming out like that, and we'll put the little fingers under like that. Sure. That works good. And let's go in with that same kind of orangish color. I'm going to just round out these legs a little bit. Like that. Okay. Now I'm messing around. Now, if I want to have this feeling of kind of sunlight. Now, first off, before I jump into that, I do want to also think about how this coat is. I'm grabbing some of that dioxazine purple, which is really dark, and now I'm going to come down like this and create a bit of a dark shadow, dark middle tone light. Remember that. Dark middle tone light will give you that drapery that you're looking for. Just like that. And now I'm going to do the same thing, a little bit of that dark purple on this side of the arm. I'm going to pretend that the sun is coming from that angle, okay? So it's coming from my right side to my left. And so it creates these little shadows. She's creating a bit of a shadow in her walk right there. I'll lose the shoes, that's okay. And so a little bit more purple. A little bit more this way. I'm going to have to get somebody to be quiet out there. That's what happens on Thursday night, evidently. It turns into a party at my house. I am contemplating changing our time at some point to an earlier time so that people in London can watch in the evening. So stay tuned. I might have to make an announcement here in the next little while and see if I need to. But if this is a good time or you would like a different time, let me know. There. Okay. Now I've got my basket. I've got a few little things here. I want to go back up again with A little more white there, like that. Yeah. Ooh, that looks good. All right, wiping my brush off. And now I'm going to come in with some Indian yellow and tons of white. And I'm going to grab a little bit of thinner, and I'm going to say, okay, the sun is shining, excuse me, sun is shining this way. So now I'm going to give it a little bit of a feel of sunlight, maybe a little bit of orange and a little bit of, you know, that sense of big, beautiful sunshine like this. I'm going to have to get a bigger brush. This is kind of silly to be using a small brush like that. Let's get a bigger one. And maybe a little bit of green. Yeah, mint green. This is sap green. And I'm going to now put that in, and so it feels a little happier. And I'll shape out her leg by using the negative shape around it like that. Create this beautiful illusion of light. Isn't that beautiful? I love it. I'll shape out the negative shape around the jacket so I can correct anything that I need to correct. Just like that. Give it a little bit of sunshine down here. It's amazing how fast you can go, isn't it? So this is just sap green with a little bit of orange and a lot of white. And it's creating that. This is way too much orange down here, but we can adjust that with our brush. And then kind of come up like that. And now I can really reshape that jacket like this. I think I'll add a little bit more of that green. Feels like a sunny day. I love it. We don't get a lot of sun at this time of year. Oh, we got to paint it. That's what we do is that we paint big flowers and we paint sunshine, and actually we get some sun on our little snow. We get to visit with our little deer. Now let's get a little bit more of that going. I'm going to take a little darker green there. And I think I also would like to add just a tiny bit of orange to it just because it heats it up a little bit. That's so cute. I think we'll have to, at some point, put some Easter eggs in it. What do you think? Yeah, that would be good. Yeah. A little bit of grass in. Come back over here, and since this is dark on that side of the basket, it will be really nice to put a little bit of mint green in between. I also want that leg to stand out, but I might need to darken that part up a little bit so that, yeah, so that we can see that leg a little bit. But for now, that's nice. And now I can shape the basket out with my outside, my negative space. It doesn't mean, ooh, I'm so negative. No, it just means the space around something. Like that's the space around the basket. That's the negative shape. So when I say that, that's what I mean. Now I'm going to shape in the little coat by doing that. Oh, I think I'm going to keep this painting. I like this one. A lot of times I paint one on Thursday night and then I just go back and take a rag and wipe the whole darn thing off because I'm not happy. We're just playing around and learning. We're not trying to create a masterpiece, but sometimes they turn out pretty darn good and you just want to keep them. Yeah, I'm keeping this one. I like it. Yes. Yeah. Do you like it? I hope so. Okay. Isn't that fun? Okay. So now what I want to make sure I do is I want to make sure that I have a nice contrast between the blonde hair. So if I put this light color around the blonde hair, it's not going to register as quite as good as if I put something a little bit darker. So now I have to decide what I want to do with that. I'm going to take a little bit of the teal. What if I put dark teal and a little bit of Indian yellow? and see what happens. So I'm going to put a little bit of Steph. How's our time? I better double check. Oh my gosh, we've got lots of time. Shoot. Okay, no problem. And I'm going to come up and take this dark green. I've got a little bit of Indian yellow on that and teal, and it really just looks like a sap green. And there's a little bit of orange in there. Now, I probably should have laid that down. I don't want to get that in the little girl's hair too much. Let's just make sure it's nice and thin, like that. And see that the top of the shoulder is very, very dark, so I don't want to put the dark into the shoulder. I want to keep it up here a bit. So I've got a little bit of orange in there. I'm just messing around. How about a little bit of purple? Okay. I'm really, really messing around with some colors. But when that purple hits the orange, it becomes more of an earthy tone. And then we'll come up above the head, like that. Carving out the hair a little bit. Some artists will start with the background and work their way forward. I don't do that, but you can do that if you want. I like painting the whole thing almost simultaneously. It's kind of the way a lot of oil painters do. Now I'm going to take my orange and I'm going to get back into that light green again and just throw in a bit. See how it looks like sunlight is coming through in a couple of spots like that. I just think that's yummy. And then I'll throw that light green into the dark area of the jacket so it looks hopefully like it's supposed to be there. That's the main thing is don't make it look like, oh, there's a stripe area right here where she's trying to divide the light from the dark. No, you want to make it look natural. So that's key. And I think the hair is so bright. I may have to tone it down, but it really is that bright. Oh my gosh, is it ever? She still has hair that's this color. It's amazing. 84 at this stage. Really quite the go-getter, I'll tell you. She's an amazing, amazing person. So you can see how it goes back into space, and so you don't need to worry about it being you know, any like it's too fussy. If you make it too fussy, you want to, you know, you don't want to paint every leaf of every little tree in the background. You never want to do that way in the background. So now I'm going to take some turquoise. This is going to be fun. Turquoise with white. And I'm hoping I'm going to just set this down because I don't really need to hold this anymore for a while. I won't have a cramp in my hand. Yeah. Now I'm going to play a little bit. So I've got some teal or some turquoise with white. And I'm throwing in just this beautiful kind of a sense of blue and in the sky kind of thing. It makes it really feel like a sunny day. Notice I'm not painting it like a wall, okay? Don't just make all your strokes. Look how many different directions those strokes are. Don't paint it as though you're painting a wall and you're just filling things in. Be aware of the need for variety a little bit. I'm just like 1, 2, change the direction, 1, 2, change the direction, constantly changing directions on my brush because that makes it so much more interesting. So much more interesting. Here's a nice light. If you were painting a big, huge sky, it would be darker at the top and lighter as it got down close to the horizon. But, you know, we're not painting a big, huge sky on this. It's just a little bit. I might throw in a couple of little blue dots here and there just to make it work. That's quite yummy. I love it. This is a big filbert brush. This one belonged to my dad. It's a filbert and it's about 1.5 inches wide. Okay. Nice to have because you can't paint really straight lines with that. You want it, it's just soft, beautiful lines that happen with this type of brush. Picking up some of that purple and throwing that in the sky, and that's making it, oh my goodness, it's giving it kind of a mood. It's nice. I love it. I love that. Okay, more teal and white. Paint, paint, paint. Wow. Okay. Now, in order for this to kind of feel as though it belongs, I'm gonna see what happens. This is a little bit scary, but I'm gonna take a little bit of that teal and plunk it into that grass down here. It registers as kind of just light. It doesn't register as green. Let's see if I can get a little more teal. There, that's a little bluish color. I'm not sure I like that, but I can always change that back a little bit. Got to be a little gutsy sometimes. And now I'm going to grab some of the green. Yeah, I like the green better. But it gives it some interest. I'm crazy about this. This is nice. Love it. Yeah. That hair is a little bit on the pink side. What if I put a little bit of this blue in there? It's a little green. There. It just kind of calms it down. I don't want any sharp edges around the hair. So now I'm going to wipe off my brush, and then I can take a little bit and soften the hair as it goes into the grass a little bit. Wow, that's cool. Beautiful. Now her legs look really dark. I can see that. I can see that. So I'm going to put that brush down. And once you get all the rest of the colors in, you have to kind of mess around with them a little bit and go, oh my gosh, that's beautiful. Well, look how dark her legs look. They're just like really pale and not so great. So, and I'm missing a color right now. I left my cadmium red at my classroom. Geez. So I'm going to kind of work that by using an orange with our little purple, and I'm going to make a little more vibrant skin tone. Better get my picture again to make sure I'm doing it right. Oops, dropped my picture on the floor. Hold on. Hope you're not dizzy from that one. There we go. Okay. So now I've got this little more dark shadow skin tone right there. Still painting it nice and loose. And I'm working it kind of from the inside of the leg. That's still a really, let's see, a little bit of still a dark shadow color. And then I'll come up really light here in a minute. Just shaping it out, not fussing with it. A little bit right there. Okay, next I'm going to go in with, what do I want? Oh, I know what I want. Hang on. I want a little bit of raw sienna. Stick that under my arm. Raw sienna and white for that light on the leg. Okay, so most of these fleshy tones are made from a yellow and a red and a white. And sometimes those yellows are very dark. It just depends on the shadow and also the race of the person, So now I'm going to take my yellow raw sienna and a lot of white, a little bit of yellow. And now I'm going to come in, I'm going to say this leg is sticking out this way, so I'm going to go in and make it nice and bright. Can you see that okay? Yes, you can. All right, good. If any of you guys are watching on your phone, you can watch this on your TV, most of you. So you just get on there and get your YouTube on your TV set, and you can watch it as big as your TV is. Makes it a lot easier to see and to hear. Okay, so now it's kind of looking a little bit, I'll give it a little bit of a light going up in there. I don't want it so painterly that it looks like she's wearing old lady nylons. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm going to go in and put a little bit more light right there. Okay, good. That's nice. And a little more of that reddish color right there. Yeah. I don't have any tiny little brushes. I'm just using big ones. I'm not using tiny ones. I'll just kind of smooth it a little bit. I'm fusing the paint. I'm not blending. I don't want it to be a solid piece of paint. I just don't. So, okay, let's put, let's see, we've got her a basket, and you know what we're missing? We're missing an Easter egg, aren't we? Okay, so let's go into our teal and our white, and I'm going to put in a little Easter egg right there. Oh, isn't that nice? Oh, yeah, I like it. Little Easter egg, a little bit of green and white. Put another one here. Like that. You can take your time and make them a little bit better. And then I'm going to make one purple to go with her coat. Like that. Like that. And I'll wipe off my brush. Coming into the dark teal over here. And I'm going to make this dark on one side. I think I'll put that teal down on this side too. Get it going like that. And then I'll redo that basket thing. I want it to go over the top, and then I'll put the basket back on. Now, I'm going to come into some white, and we'll give it a little highlight just for fun. A little highlight. I don't want it to be so stark that it becomes, you know, everybody looking, oh my gosh, a bunch of Easter eggs. I want to fuse out that highlight a little bit. And I'll spend more time on it maybe. Or maybe I'll take it out and have her holding something else, you know, a purse or something, or a little bag, or a leash with her little cat on it or something, you know, anything. Here's the dark purple, so that it looks dark on one side. I might add a little purple into that teal too, just because it makes for a better shadow, a little purple. And that looks really cute. She's got her little Easter eggs. And then I'm going to go back into that stuff that we made the skin out of, which is the raw sienna. And I'm going to pull that around and make that basket go over the eggs so that the eggs are inside the basket. We don't want them going, you know, falling out. And that's a little bit more of that, like this. Okay. All right, one really fast. I'm going to do a little bit more of that raw sienna with white, and I'm going to take a couple more strokes just to make sure that this hair doesn't look too pink. It's too pink, so now I'm going to go in and take a little bit of that teal and green and neutralize the pink with a little bit of light teal and green. Doesn't that sound crazy? Look at that. See? It takes the pink out when I put teal and light green. A little more teal. It just makes it look like real, you know, I don't know why it does that. I don't want that there. Okay, let's see. It just makes it look more natural. You would think it would be less natural, but nope. And then I'll put some white, whatever white I've kind of got there. And we'll start kind of creating a few little highlights here and there. And we're just about done for today. Then I come down and see the sock. Okay, put the sock back on. A little more on one side than the other. Let's see. Wow, isn't that pretty? So that's how you can do something in an hour. Yeah, just go for it. We just went, oh, we went 55 minutes. That's not too bad. You can get into all kinds of stuff, make your coat all fancy and put, lace petticoat under there if you want, whatever you feel like doing. Make more fancy stuff, or you can just keep it nice and loose. Isn't that fun? I hope you had a really, really uh, good time today. Now, who have I got here? I've got North Carolina still, and I want to check one more little thing. Now, if I go control panel, it says, oh, okay, we've got 13 people watching tonight. Isn't that nice? Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you again next week. Yes, I do hope to see you next week at 7 o'clock Central Mountain Time and 6 o'clock Pacific Time US. I don't know what time it is in your neck of the woods, but let me know. And feel free to ask any questions. You can go on to my site. There are a lot of videos. And don't forget to subscribe. All right. Love you guys. Good night to my students and to my mom and my stepmom. And hope you guys have a good sleep tonight. Love you so much. Bye-bye for now.